You're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq. Welcome to my weekly review. You can see the Nasdaq in 2023 has kind of changed characters here. It had a nice 15% gain. Went up to 12,269 on February 2nd. Gave half of that back. Had like a 7.5% retracement here, and now has rallied the last 5 weeks. Formed a little, you can call this a little cup with handle pattern if you like. If you look at the last week's trading was down 4 or 5 days, but it eked out a gain because the one day was a powerful gain and had the highest volume. And the index closed Friday 1.4% above the 21, and it's above the 10 EMA, so that can't be bearish. Anyway, I do not trade the Nasdaq. I trade stocks, and I mentioned we're going to go over some of my leading stocks that I like. CROX. I got to start. Webby calls me Mr. CROX, so I got to start with CROX here. And this one, couple ways you can look at this one. I looked at it as breaking above its downtrend line here, and then it pulled back to the 50. And now you can do anything with lines, right? It broke another downtrend line here last week here. So like I said, you can do anything with lines. You could say, 128.80 right across here, that's a buy. But you can see it's forming a cup pattern. They have earnings on April 27th, not May 4th. And so we'll see about this stock. Stocks don't go up just because of, the chart. They got to have earnings and sales growth, and they have to sustain it for quarter after quarter, year after year. And we'll see how CROX does. I believe they're going to report a good quarter, but we'll have to wait and see. Novo Nordisk is another one that I like. I mean, they have the if you just look at the chart, I mean, a kindergartner can figure out this is a good stock. Lower left, upper right's broken out a couple times here. They have the Wegovy and the Ozempic. Watch the Academy Awards. It looked like the Ozempic Olympics. I'm a little concerned that there's not going to be any more heavyset people to play any Tony Soprano roles. We can't have a sequel to The Sopranos. Everybody was so thin there. And that's great. Whatever you do to make yourself feel better, I mean, that's good. And this drug is obviously, I mentioned earnings and sales growth. They just pre-announced last week, just fantastic earnings and sales growth. They raised guidance, and they're just hitting on all cylinders right now. I would expect, the stock to continue to reflect that. Speaking of feeling good, Elf on the Shelf, this has been one of the top performing stocks in the past year, and it did very well in the recent Piper Sandler teenager consumer survey. And I know teenagers not a big group, but they spend, and if they're loyal, you have customers forever. So nothing to do with this stock, but just hold it and watch your money grow. I mean, as far as buying it, I mean, maybe a pullback here like it had, but these things are just trending higher, and I'm just along for the ride. LNTH, we did have a buy point here, and this thing broke out and has not looked back. So, pretty tough to buy it here, but it has been supported by its moving averages. And this is just a trend trader's dream here, LNTH, and it had an excellent, it's a weekly review. So let's look at the weekly chart. Had a real strong 2022. And then it had this correction here, 46% depth in the base, which is a little much. But this thing formed this pattern X, picking up this cup with handle pattern. And now it's just ripped higher the last 4 or 5 weeks, and looks real strong. So Lantheus is another one of my favorites. Like I say, you have to have earnings and sales growth, and they have it triple digit. It might be a little expensive, but they're delivering the goods. And I have to have one of the grade 8, that's driving the index. So I'm going to select NVDA. It's definitely the leader in the semiconductor space. One thing about NVIDIA is they move with what's working. They were into cryptocurrency, they were into the metaverse, and now it's artificial intelligence. Whereas AMD just kind of sticks to their strategies. These guys will chase, what's hot. And NVIDIA definitely is involved with the artificial intelligence, and it's paying off for them. So that would be my pick. And obviously, the last couple of weeks, it's pulled back after a tremendous run. But I would think that money would be flowing back into the semiconductor stocks and NVIDIA pretty soon. Palo Alto Networks is another one. Had to have a cybersecurity stock. I believe Palo Alto Networks is best in show. This thing is setting up to near a buy point for me. I like it. I think we had it around 187 or something, but there's another one here clears $200.30. If it gets above the 200, you know, the ghost of the Livermore ghost right there, the large number. I like Palo Alto Networks above that level as well. SMCI, this one we've had for a long time. Last summer it was trading tight, $50, I want to say. And you can see late stage base, it's base after base. And if you look at the weekly chart, you know, it's kind of a stair stepper. You know, goes up, flattens out, goes up, flattens out, goes up, flattens out, and you get the idea. And right now it's just kind of flattening out here after it made a nice run. So it's trading a little wider and looser than it was last summer, but still, this one has the fundamentals as well. You know, strong sales and earnings growth, not an expensive stock at all. So I believe this one should have more growth. Now I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth because I'm talking about earnings and sales. You know, these guys are taking market share. You want to have leaders, and this thing is a leader. It is a little expensive here though for you know, price to sales and earnings, but it's got a lot of growth priced in. I'll just say that. How about that? It did have this huge correction, and then it had this stage one base and broke out, and it's not looking back. It's not anywhere near what I would consider, you know, a proper buy point. I'm going to let this thing. It looks like it pulled back to its 50 on Friday, so maybe I need to reassess this one. But anyway, one of the leading stocks, because it's a leader in its market and taking market share. I had to have something from construction. The home builders look good, and builders, one of the stocks that we have on our list here, and it broke out last week. You can see a long consolidation period, 60 weeks, later stage base, but this one is getting a little bit ahead of itself here. I'm extended wise. I mean, builders a little extended. I can't be buying that one there. And the last one I'm going to talk about is I have to have one from the top performing group, which is the computer software education media group. And this is Duolingo. This one is up a lot. I have not used their products, but habla español. If you want to learn a different language, a second language, a third language, another language, this is a pretty good tool from what you know, people tell me. And obviously the stock is reflecting its success. The last one I want to point out, I said the last one is Duolingo, is TGTX. This one's going to move with data points. New drug. I want a new drug, and this one certainly is best in show. And there's a lot of shorts in this one. You can see the buy point there. There's a heavy short interest, which, you know, I do not like owning stocks with heavy short interest like that, but you know, they're going to have short reports. They're going to try to knock this thing down. But I believe that the management here is going to execute and provide you know, great sales, and this one could be a buyout target as well. So this is kind of a speculative play, but definitely one that I like. And you can see right there, 1959. It does have a gap to fill here at 1925, I believe, if I have this right. Yeah, the gap on 1924, where it gapped up last week on news. So anyway, that's it for this week. Good luck to you out there. The market's acting a little better, and hopefully it's showing up in your portfolios. We never give up.